The views and comments expressed on the following radio program by its hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the views of rmconair.com or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Manners and More with Millena. I'm your host, Millena Gay, and today we are discussing hair. Today's show is Unbeweavable. Yes, we went there. Yes, I said it, and yes, we're about to talk about it. The guest today is Mr. D.A. Ballinger, and he actually wrote a book called Unbeweavable. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to talk to Mr. Ballinger and see exactly what is the meaning behind this book. Also in the studio, we have my personal hairstylist, Mr. Anthony Simpkins, who has been going to town on my head, as you'll see in some of the pictures a little bit later. In the past, let me just be straight up honest with you. I have not gotten as many compliments ever in all my 29 years on this planet. 29 years on this planet in my head. 29 years. Than I have gotten in the past, month and a half that he's been doing my hair. This man is amazing. And I have a long history of weaves and wigs and things like that for various different reasons, not only because of the industry and the profession, but just because of personal issues with challenges with hair. And we're going to get into all of that as soon as we take a quick break. We'll be right back with Manners and More with Millena, and we are talking about the weave. Today is an unbeweavable day as we talk about hair with Mr. D.A. Ballinger and Mr. Anthony Simpkins. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me in the studio today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Ballinger, please give us a little bit of history, background about yourself, and the inspiration for actually writing this book.
Well, my background is I used to write for That's My Mama and All in the Family, that kind of thing. I did a lot of treatments back in the day. Okay. I picked up the pen again a few months ago last year, because I actually went to a hair show, a natural hair show. And I had this, what I would call an epiphany, an awakening, that our beautiful black hair is not being represented well. And as a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, there's a conspiracy to erase the black image. And when I say erase the black image, I mean lots of ladies are do, and again, the book is not against weaves or wigs or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It's basically just saying that how much time do you spend under it? When your children see you walk through the door every day, do they see the natural you, or do they see the one that is the personified of another race? And that's kind of what it's about. Also, it's also about the fact that a lot of the products that we use, and I brought some with me, and I'll show them later, but they're harmful to us, and we need to read labels, learn how to read labels.
But let me ask you this, and I don't mean to be offensive, but don't laugh, Anthony.
And neither do I.
But honestly, and this, please don't take it the wrong way, but really, what do you have to do with it? I mean, you don't have to worry about. All you have to do is go to the haircut place, the barbershop, and pay $10, and you're out of there in 10 minutes, 20 minutes. For women, there is a lot more involved, and especially for African American women. I mean, we have perms, you have the straightening comb, you got conditioner, you got the flat iron, you have the all of it. It is madness sometimes just to be presentable to go to the mailbox and to not be considered a chicken head or anything like that. There's more to it than it's not just I'm just going to put on some hair and just go. Now, sometimes it is, but a lot of times there is a lot involved in it. And I just want to know, and please don't mistake me when I say this, because I say it with all love, but who are you to tell me or any woman what to do with their hair?
Okay. Again, and that's a very good question and a very good statement. But again, and I have to say this many, many times, this book is not against your weave, wigs, perms. It's not against it. The only thing the book is virtually against or about is how much time you spend under it, or your image you spend with that image. Like, for example, there are women who've had children, and their children have had children, and they have never seen their mother's real hair or their grandmother's real hair. When do they take it off and let them see the real natural look of that person? I think our image is being attacked.
And so that was the inspiration for writing the book.
That was the inspiration to write the book. So at least if I come to you and say, hey, look, it's 365 days in a year. Could you at least show your children your blackness or your real natural hair once out of the year? Is that a problem? If that's a problem, then we know we got a problem.
So I'm assuming that your mama, your grandmama, all those, they had all natural hair. And they never...
No. Again, in my book, matter of fact, in the back of my book is my mother. I put her here just because I knew that question was going to come up. And she actually has her natural hair, but it's in a perm.
Okay.
That's her hair, but it's in a perm. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But she... Show the picture. Oh, sure. There's nothing wrong with the perm or anything of that nature. But there was times when she went to the beach, or we went to the beach, and the hair got wet and it went to the natural state.
Here, let me...
Oh, thank you. And it went to the natural state, and she wore natural sometimes. But she let us see her natural look.
Oh, really?
Okay.
She did.
But there has to be... all I'm trying to do is bring the awareness to the fact that when you wear your hair in a and I have to say it, another race look, the long weavy whatever look, and you're not really showing the look that you really have to your children, and you have a problem with it, then there's a problem.
There is a problem, but there are more reasons than just we don't want to hide or not show our hair. And I'm very sensitive about this.
I know. I'm not going to be invited on Roper. I know that, but it is what it is.
Well, it's one of those topics that actually needs to be discussed. I feel, and we talked about it earlier. It's one of those. Really a hot button issue that needs to get out there, because people do have questions and they want to know. Even other races, they want to know what is so obsessive, what's going on with African American women and their hair. What is the deal? So you wrote a book from your perspective, and you don't ever have to spend 5 or 8. I have spent 12 hours in a hair salon getting my hair weaved. I've sat just actually one time it was 2 days for a photo shoot. I had to stop and go back because it was so long. You've never had that experience, and that but yet you've written about it. So we're just going to dive right in and get on into that. We're going to introduce my next guest, Mr. Anthony Simpkins, who has had the wonderful pleasure or challenge of attacking this right here, which we all know can be quite a challenge. Most of my hairstyles, actually all of them, they've all said in the beginning, "Oh, your hair is no problem." Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. And then when they get to it, they're like, but you. Exactly. My point exactly. I don't understand. Nobody understands, but it is what it is, and it is an absolute nightmare for me to personally deal with, because my mother, my biological mother, my grandmother, the women in my family don't have this hair. They have very long and very easy to manage hair. I get this side from my father, and he didn't have to deal with it, but he was kind enough to take me to the hairstylist when I was 5 and 6 years old. I've been going to the hairdresser because no one knew how to do my hair. My father couldn't do it. My mother didn't have this kind of hair to do. So I have been sitting in hairstylist chairs since I was 5 years old. And actually, I used to get burned by my hairstylist, Miss Drusilla. Miss Drusilla, if you're watching, she used to burn me and then whisper in my ear that if I cried, then she would burn my mother. Yeah, ridiculous. Yes, because then
child abuse, huh?
Pretty much at the hands of the curling, at the press and comb. It was awful, a hot mess. But now I don't have those issues anymore because Anthony has saved my life, saved the life of my hair. And I tell you, I've gotten more compliments in the past month and a half than I've ever gotten in all my years on this earth put together. And even when I'm just like doing a little bit of this, I'm like, "Oh, that's great. Your hair looks so good." I'm like, "Oh my goodness." And now for the first time, and I'm being completely transparent, I'm actually proud to even go out with my hair like this. And that it's the cut. It's the cut, and it's the attention to detail, not only with the cut, but you have the highlights, and you have it's actually being conditioned and maintained on a consistent basis, and that's what it's about. And if you don't have those resources and you don't have the time, whether it's financial resources, time resources, what have you, then you're really in a position of having to do other things to actually go out to look presentable. And there it goes. The wig. Mm-hmm. That's what happens. Anthony, why don't you take a moment to jump in and introduce yourself? I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Anthony, the hairstylist. I work at the Ivory Coast Hair Salon in Los Angeles. Now I hear what y'all talking about the unbelievable, but we as hairstylists, that's our job, is to be able to keep the hair up and keep everything flowing in weekly basis. You come on a daily basis, weekly basis, and that's our job, just to keep the hair conditioned, clean, and have everybody loving their hair. And I do a lot of short hair and weaves, so that's the two things that I do, and I'm good at it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are. You are a monster at it. Actually, we're going to show some of the pictures from of Anthony's work right now. And so the first picture that's on your screen that's when I was hosting the Black Oscars back in February, Viola Davis and Danny Glover's party. I mean, Anthony put his foot in my head. Look at that right there. Look at that. That's me being interviewed on the red carpet, talking about how excited I am about hosting such a wonderful event. And that's me talking with Mr. Glover. You see the back side of it, or the side view. And we're having a good conversation about the event and Roby Theater Company and how it was all put together. And look, I mean, the hair looks great from all sides, from the top, from the side, and that's me and Anthony in the shop, him getting it ready, getting ready for all these red carpet events, for the Oscar event, and it takes time. That was a wonderful, wonderful event that day, and I got, again, 1 million compliments on it. But the amount of work and time that it takes to even get to that, those pictures of us in the shop that day that you saw, that was actually for in between, where I had just left the rodeo. That picture right there, I had just left the Glen Turman rodeo and was on my way to the pre-Oscar party. Had to stop at Anthony's shop in between. To get out the rodeo mess, because I fell, and jump in his chair and get back on the red carpet, and also get ready for the next day. And it just shows, if I had a wig, I wouldn't have to go through all of that. If I had a weave, I wouldn't have had to go through all of that. I could have done it myself. But I choose natural now, but it takes that much more time and effort and just dedication to getting it done. But you've just seen the pictures. You see, it's absolutely well worth it. My hair's never looked like that. For my former hairstylists who are watching, I'm so sorry. But it's, it's the sad, not even sad, but it is a good reality that I'm blessed to be able to have confidence in wearing my hair naturally, whereas before, I never had that confidence. So I actually was doing what you're saying in the book, which was hiding behind wigs and weaves. I was actually doing it, and I have some right here. So this is my hair that I sometimes wear. Used to wear. It's still around. People say, if you look at my pictures on Facebook, oh, what happened to your hair? You cut your hair. I say, no, it's at home. It's in the closet. So here is this, one of my tresses, and actually this was a $200 wig. Isn't that awful? That's a shame the way it is right now. But it is, I know, don't look like that, but I haven't combed it. It's about 1.5 years old, but it's actually a $200 wig, and when it's washed and dried, and it actually looks like it, and actually you'll see a picture later on. Actually, there's a picture that we'll show with myself and Miss Della Reese, and there it is right there. That picture is this hair.
Wow.
Believe it or not. But it was wonderful to, I use my hair for when I have to go to certain events and I have to look a certain way. Now, that was about 1.5 years ago, and before I met Anthony, so I felt very more comfortable in wearing this business. You also have this is this hair. Now, this hair is my Young and the Restless hair. So for those of you who have watched and have seen me on Young and the Restless, or like, she does not on Young and the Restless, just because I look differently on the Young and the Restless, because of this. This is my Young and the Restless hair. And let's see, that's actually the picture on the screen right now. That is a weave that I had done in Dubai. And that hair on that weave is Egyptian hair. Yeah, that's what I said, Egyptian hair. When I was over there getting it done, I said, oh, Egyptian hair. That's my cousin Frank in the picture as well. The next picture is myself with a dear person I respect very much, Mr. Terrence Howard. That is hair that is actually a wig cap. My dear friend Pamela, she makes, they're called Pam's caps. And that's actually all human hair, and it's put on a wig cap, and you just put it on like a hat. And there it is. And it looks perfectly natural, perfectly wonderful. And that was just a moment of plopping it on. And it didn't take any work. I mean, let me just tell you this tragic story about Young and the Restless. So I go to my audition. And I had just gotten my hair done, and I was like, oh, I like it short, but they requested me with the long hair. And the biggest rule in auditions and acting, you have got to go looking like your picture. If you don't look like your picture, you might as well forget about it. Well, I didn't have new pictures of short hair yet, so they called me, and I said, okay, well, I gotta go. So I went to got into the room, and I said, now I know the rules, that you cannot go into an audition without looking like your picture, and I have short hair now. He said, yeah, that's okay. And I said, but here is my hair right here. I have it right here, and I whipped it out of my purse. Yes, I did. I whipped it out of my purse. I had my comb. I said, just give me 2 minutes, and I will put it on, because I'm not, don't discount me. I'm going to put it on. But he said, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So they filmed it. They called my agent 3 hours later. I'm now booked on The Young and the Restless as Marjorie Curtis. So I go for my first day of filming. Now, from the soap world that I come from All My Children, One Life to Live, Guiding Light, General Hospital, now The Young and the Restless, the way that it works is you go into hair and makeup, and they have a hair and makeup team that they pay good money to do the work. So, being respectful and having that experience, I said, I'm going to go with my hair clean and dry. So I did, and I had it slicked back, and then I put on my hat hair. This was just my hat hair. This is hair that I wore. It's a $29 wig, I think, in a play last year called Bobby Lee Blood. So I just plopped this on, had my hair slicked back, plopped it on, and I'm bouncing all down to CBS Studios. So I get in there, sit in the makeup chair, the lady's doing my makeup, and then she says, okay, now it's time to go to the hair. And I look, I'm like, I don't see anyone looking like me to do my hair. Uh-oh. And this is not a racist statement, but when you have African American hair, not everyone can do African American hair. Caucasian people have challenges, Asian people have challenges, other ethnicities have challenges with our hair. So in that I did not see any African Americans there, I said, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? So I had my little wig on here, and then she's like, go ahead. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, here I go. And I sit down in the chair, and I have my wig on, and then I start to take it off. And as I'm taking it off, this is the Asian lady's face. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, it's a wig. It's just but you're taking off your hair, but what are you doing? It's a wig. This is my hair. It's just it's clean and dry, and I made it nice for you. But and this is her. But what is wrong with this hair? But what's wrong with it? It's a wig. It's not what I auditioned with. It's just well, what do you want me to do with your hair? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to, I don't know, curl it? I'm sitting here like I got my script in my lap. I'm thinking I've never had these questions from a studio, and I said, well, what is going on? And I said, well, you could curl it. She said, well, if I'm not even exaggerating, breathing hard, the whole night. Okay, well, do you want to do it? Do you want to curl it? I sat back, I said, my job is to know my lines and be on Young and Restless. That's my job. And I said, no, not really, but I will. If I have to, I will curl it. Well, and so then the supervisor, she came over and said, no, it's okay, because the Asian lady was a little bit concerned. It's okay, it's all right, Here, why don't we just take this? And why don't we just take this, and we'll just put some oil on it, and I'm thinking, it's the $29 wig, really? But we'll just put some oil on it, and do, and then that will be, and there, and there, and there. And so then they plopped it on, and do you see the I don't know, Felicia, would you be able to show the picture of me on my first day on Young and the Restless? And then, okay. Well, we'll show you that at a break. But then you will see what this actually has turned out to look like, which is why you don't know what I look like on Young and the Restless, because but that whole story was to say, it's a tragedy that I don't get to showcase my beautiful hair, but that is the story, and that's a sad reality that happens with a lot of African Americans. So now I've just hogged up an entire 10 minutes with that story.
Good story, though.
But now, you guys, please chime in. What do you think about wigs? What do you think about, and what do you think about?
Well, again, it's not against wigs, weaves, perms. It's only about how much time the female, the African American female, stays with it without showing it to their children. That's my offense. My offense is that their children need to see their image, their true image, in their home, and they see it enough of the other side on television, the videos, and all the other stuff that they put out for our children to look at, our African American children to look at, to emulate. They don't need their mother walking in the house every day with the same, the same hairdo that's not of them. And when I say that, not being a racist, I'm just saying that the Hispanics don't have to do it, the whites don't have to do it, the Egyptians don't have to do it. All these other races don't have to do that or be concerned about their children seeing their natural hair, their natural look. But we do. And
but the one thing I want to say that
go ahead.
You're not in the household with them, so and then these different races of people that you mentioned, they do come to the salon and get adhesive, get extra hair added in. 3 tracks is something that you can't even see. It's in there. You don't even know. Maybe their parents don't see them with hair, different type of hair, but their hair is it's in there. It's in there, even if they know it or not. It's in there.
I understand that part because through my research, I've done some pretty good research about it, asking a lot of people, talking to a lot of ladies. Yes, the whites do have extensions. They probably invented extensions. They probably invented weaves and all that. Mm-hmm. But the image, the long flowing image, is that of their race. That's not our race. Our long flowing, on the majority, not all, but on the majority, black African American women don't have long flowing blonde hair. I've never really seen any other than ones who made it look like that. But that's not the look that that you were born with.
Well, with us, we got the best of both worlds. Either some of our hair texture is excessively curly, some texture is curly, some texture is straight. I mean, you never know what type of hair. And then if they do take the weave out, some people do rock their own hair. Some people do rock their hair, depending on the texture. And a lot of times, our texture, like me, or is excessively curly, so it's hard to maintain. We got real strong hair, so we do use press and comb sometime. They take it out the weave, they press it out, straighten it out. Sometimes they leave it natural. Some people's hair is curly, some people's hair is straight. It depends on the texture, meaning straight, curly, or excessively curly. Mm-hmm. I don't want to use the word nappy in the field of cosmetology. I use the word excessively curly, and that's what we have, So we learn how to change our texture by putting different weaves in and different looks. We got the best of both worlds. We could look any type of way we want to look.
Well, yeah, I mean, in America, we're free to do whatever we want to do. You're correct about that. But in the book, I even actually talk about the wording. If you change your words, you change your world. That's what I call the chapter in my book, that we tend to use that word nappy and coarse and other things like that. And those words virtually came from our slave masters. They're the ones who started calling us nappies and coon heads and all that stuff. And we promulgate it to our children. How your children going to grow up with any type of esteem when you're using that to them every day of their life? And I see it on the streets every day.
Well, I've learned from good salon etiquette from Mr. Goins at Pacific Beauty College where I attended, and we don't use the word nappy in the field of cosmetology.
Oh, what do you use?
We use the word excessively curly.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
And then in my book, some of my terminologies, instead of using nappy, I call it naturally tight and curly. Okay. Instead of kinky, firm texture. Instead of ugly, call it beautiful. Instead of unmanageable, call it very manageable. Instead of calling naps, call it curlicues. Instead of calling it hard, wait a minute, let me go here. Yeah. This is my favorite. Instead of calling it maze, hey, that's a singing group. Okay? Right. Instead of calling it coarse, call it puffy. Use positive words for our children to grow up with.
I agree on that.
Yeah, I agree with you that. I definitely agree with you on that. But then you have people who just say, oh, it's nappy, and who want to advocate, oh, nappy hair, and in beauty salon, happy to be nappy.
Because they brought up that way. Who taught them that? Because everything other than breathing is taught.
Yes.
Who taught them that? Their brothers, their sister, their mama, their daddy, their uncle, their aunts, their nephews, their cousins, their grandmother, their granddaughter. They all say those, using those words on them for years,
and that's a self-esteem issue. You know what I mean? A lot of people, some people just, I ain't gonna mention. Some people just don't like looking in the mirror and can't manage their own hair. So I can understand putting the weave in.
Yes.
But then that's why when I met you, my brother, out in the foyer, and your lovely children, and both of them have lovely, natural looking hair.
Beautiful hair.
Oh God,
beautiful hair.
I had another epiphany that when I see women on the street today, I make it a note to go up to them and say, "Hi. You have naturally beautiful hair. That's a beautiful look. That's a beautiful look." If I can get the other brothers to do the same thing, just raise our women up, say, "That's a beautiful look. That's a beautiful look you have." Just go up to them, just say it. And I mean, I hit on them because they can tell when you're trying to hit on them. I just say, "You have beautiful hair," and keep it moving.
But a lot of times, and that will help. That will help. But then the women that you see out there on the street, they didn't just roll out of bed and it happened that way.
No.
How long does it take when you do my hair, Anthony?
I guess about an hour.
About an hour and a half.
About an hour,
maybe.
an hour and a half.
But that's an hour and a half time, and that's with a professional do it. If you're at home and getting ready to go somewhere, then it's going to take sometimes 2 hours, sometimes versus this right here. Or the weave that you can just do some of this, like the other ethnicities, and keep it going.
Well, if you don't mind, I like to quote the Bible. The Bible says.
The Bible doesn't say anything about a weave.
The Bible says, "To much is given, much is required." So, since we are the strongest, most beautiful race on this planet, then He gave us the strongest, most beautiful hair. And yes, it's going to take a little time for you to take care of it. little bit more time. You're gonna need to put more time into it. Nothing wrong with that.
then I say for all of those people that you have issues with, you should go to their house and go offer to do their hair.
I think you should just leave it up to a professional.
Right, go ahead.
Leave it up to a professional. We know how to we have the good shampoos, we have the good conditioners, and then you should have a pair of good shears to do that chopping into the hair and cutting into it and get them split ends off the hair. Because no matter what race, you got to get your split ends trimmed.
Yes.
Well, and I appreciate the professionalism, especially your profession, and I would not talk against it because you are a necessity. I love my black women. I like women, period. When they look good, they're supposed to look good. That's your duty. Is what I'm gonna say. Job.
That's our duty. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Because, but at the break or when we come back, I would like to talk to you about those products that you use.
Okay. And actually, I'm gonna show you the picture that we were talking about of me and the Young and the Restless. Okay, so that's what I look like on the Young and the Restless. That's my role, Marjorie Curtis. Yay, right. Marjorie! And that is, see that look? That's because I'm always up to something. Got something going on, whether it's taking wallets or whatever it is. But this is the Marjorie Curtis hair that does not look like that. But this is what it started off as, and that's why. And from that story, that's why you don't know who I am on Young and the Restless. That's what I look like. But
we're looking for you.
we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with more manners and more with Millena. And today it is Unbeweavable. We are talking about hair with Mr. D.A. Ballinger and Mr. Anthony Simpkins. Stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Manners and More with Millena, and today it is an unbelievable day. We are talking about hair with Mr. D.A. Ballinger and Mr. Anthony Simpkins. So we left off as we're looking at wigs and weaves and having that discussion about what is and what is not and what should be and all of that. Now, what is the definition? And we spoke about it briefly with the nappy thing going on. This is a hot button issue. Good hair and bad hair. Yes, we know we say it. We know we think it. She has good hair. She got bad hair. What is the definition of good hair and bad hair, in your opinion, and what you write in the book? I am so glad you brought that up because in my book, I put a chapter to it, and the chapter is not even that long about good hair and bad hair. This is the chapter. My definition of good hair and bad hair. If you have hair on your head, and the follicles are growing hair out of your head. I don't care if it's short. I don't care if it's 10 feet long. You have good hair. If your hair is falling out and you are bald, you have bad hair. That's simple. That's it. Okay, that's quite a way to break it down. Now, most people would call, Anthony, what do you have to say about that?
So you're saying good hair is say that, what was it? If it's falling out, and you go bald, that's bad hair.
So basically, you're saying Anthony has bad hair.
If he's bald.
Look at him. He's bald. He has bad hair.
White brothers cut their hair short. I didn't look at it that close.
He's talking about you, Anthony. He calling you bad hair.
No. I'm just saying that's my definition. Because I saw an urchin, a street urchin on the street, probably been out there for 40, 50 years because his hair was almost to the ground, matted and everything. But you would have to pull his head off his head to pull that hair because of the fact it is good, strong hair connected to good, strong follicles. Even though it's dirty and all that matted, it's still good hair. Now, how it could be still good hair and growing with all that dirt and mat on it, I don't know. But the brother had good hair because he was there. I've seen men on the street, sophisticated with suits on, and their hair falling out on their sleeves while they walk down the street. That's bad hair. It's falling out. It's gone.
Well, hair that is being conditioned, shampooed, and being taken care of in trim, just like you went and got a haircut and managed your hair. That's what good hair is all about. You know, keeping it conditioned, cut, and shampooed and styled the right way.
Well, if you're talking about good, clean, healthy hair, that's right. That's a statement of truth. But if you don't, getting back to it, if it's falling out and it's gone, that's bad hair. If it's thin and it's falling out, that's bad hair. It can't be good hair. It's falling out.
If it's not being taken care of, it's not good hair.
Right. Well, and you know what? I brought your daughter over here, Miss Soraya. Say wave to everybody, Soraya. Now, she's so absolutely adorable. But if you look at her beautiful hair, can you turn this way? Look at this. Now, this is what you would consider what most people would call good hair. It's straight, it's easy to manage, it's wavy, it's beautiful, and she's so cutie pie, thank you. And actually, your son too. Come over here. You stand right here. Look at, your son has exceptional, look at this hair. It's exceptional. Can you bend down
over
in the
here,
camera?
Anthony, camera's right here.
See, look at all of this long, beautiful. Women I pay good money to have hair like this in those pictures. This is what would be considered, I would say, considered good hair.
Well, believe
now, and honestly, and I have said about my own hair that my hair is, and I've said I'm not saying it anymore. I'm just going to say this one last time, and then I'm never going to say it again. I used to call my hair bad hair. Because actually, it feels like I did. Because it feels like Brillo pad. It feels like a Brillo pad without proper conditioning and all of that. It really and it's literally like a Brillo pad. It is hard. It is coarse. It is dry, and it is mean. It does what it wants to do on its time. And it would look at me and be like, I'm not laying down. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna curl right up, and it would be just like little men fighting the power like this, all kinked up right here and balls right
That's why I'm here to break it down, break it down,
they
break it down.
have broken themselves down right now. But that's the definition of what is commonly known as good hair and bad hair. Your kids have beautiful, beautiful, beautiful hair.
Well, quite frankly, that is what gave me started me on my road to write my book, because I went to a natural hair show. The children looked like these children. The men and women looked like those children's hair. And I was like, I woke up. I'm like, wait a minute. The women I've been thinking about, I thought I wanted or needed or desired, had the flowing weaves and waves and all. They had to have all that wind flowing in the wind in the Cadillac convertible. No, that's not what I want. That's not what I need. I need someone who looks like me, not someone who looks like somebody on the Women of Atlanta somewhere that, I hope I can say that.
We are the best of both worlds. And not every woman has a weave. Just because the hair is long, not every black woman has a weave, and not every woman, period, has a weave. But it.
And again, my brother, I have to break in and say it again, so everybody can understand and remember. This book is not against weaves, wigs, permanents. I love them just like you love doing them. I love looking at them. But on the other side, it's the time. How much time did they spend under it? That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
how much time do you stay looking like another race of people? That's what I'm talking about. What is wrong with your natural looking hair?
Well, my weaves are so undetected that, you can't even tell that they have a weave a lot of times, and my closure is just so perfect that a lot of times it's undetected. My closures to my weaves, and it's so undetected, just closing right here. Anywhere you want to close it in the top, it's going to close off, and you're not going to be able to see a strip of a braid or nothing under there.
But could I ask you, if I ran my hands through a woman's head that you did, would I feel them?
You will feel it lightly, but the way
I would feel them.
You're gonna feel something, but it's not for you to feel. It's for you to see.
Right? Yeah. No. There's no touching of the hair. There is no touching of the hair.
You know what these sisters be talking about.
That's the another. I'm glad y'all brought that up.
Do not touch the hair. That's both a fighting word.
I'm glad you brought that up. And I'm gonna make this very light because of the children being here. I'll make this light. But there have been brothers who I've already interviewed, and I went through the same situation where in the thralls of passion, you can't touch my hair. Now, ladies, let me flip this around. What if we were in the thralls of passion? What if we was in the thralls of passion and I told you, you can touch anything on me, but don't touch my right elbow? What do you think you're going to be thinking about all through this passion? My right elbow.
I'm not going to touch the right elbow.
No, see, we shouldn't have that friction. Other people don't have to have that friction. They have that hair that we don't have to be scared to touch.
You're right. But African American women, unfortunately, not all have that luxury. I've been in that situation where I have said, do not touch my hair. And in the throes of passion, we'll say. And there are a few times, and it gets to be the challenge, especially if you have on a wig, because sometimes the wig goes over here. and then you got to ease it over and move it around. It's for the sad reality is that you're not going to like what you see, or that is the fear is that what is underneath of that wig, you're not going to like what you see under there, and that is going to give you a whole different perception and just a different look at me a different way if you see what my real hair is. Because if it's under the wig, under the weave, it's not done. If it were done, it'd be out. So it's either braided up or squashed down, or...
And I want to say, a lot of people don't just get weaves, some people get short weaves, and their hair is yay long.
Mm-hmm.
Their natural hair is yay long. They get the weave in there just so they could cut it into a style, and they bring me the style, and it's easy to do, and I do it. Or vice versa. You might have short hair that want to go long, and I'm able to achieve that.
Well, at this point, I'd like to
with the weave.
What I'm going to do is just kind of slow the roll to another roll, which is the enemy that's within. That this book is all about. The book is not about you, my brother, or against your profession or anybody doing what you do.
Yeah.
What it is they'll eat.
Yeah. Why are you on the cover?
Well, let me just say it this way. I was going to not be on the cover, but then they said, well, since it is a book that is about women, obviously it's a woman, perspective, my publisher said, you need to be on the front of the book. I said, well, I gotta just have the name. He said, well, you need to own up to what you're doing, and what you're saying. Be a man, so man up and be on the book. And I didn't really want to be, but I did what they said to do. So
okay,
that's to answer that question. But I just want to get back to the enemy that's in the book. The enemy in this book, I feel, is the media, the mass media, which is brainwashing our people 100 miles going north, that we have to look a certain way, we have to breathe a certain way, act a certain way, and all the other things that we do. And one of the main things is the women's hair that they choose and elect to look another race. And when I say another race, I'm talking about not our race. Not our race.
Okay. Well, I can speak to that briefly, only to a certain extent, in that in the acting world. And I know I'm not the only one out here who has this, so that I can speak candidly about it. I am, even though I'm all the way African American, you can tell that by my hair, I have the benefit of being able to speak Spanish fluently. And so some of the roles that I go out for are Spanish speaking roles. And so when I habla español muy bien and have those conversations, I can do that. I can play those roles. And with my facial complexion, I can play those roles. But with this hair right here, I can't play those roles. There is no Hispanic-speaking person no Mexican, no nothing to have Brillo like this. So, that they're casting for, they may exist, but as far as the perception that the the media has in place, they don't see that. They only see long flowing. So in order for me to maximize my opportunities and leverage my opportunities in this industry, and not only take advantage of my abilities as being an African American, which is sometimes challenged because I'm too light to be African American. That's another show. But as far as hair, this is not going to get me Hispanic speaking roles.
Oh, no.
So I have to have my long situation going on so that I can do that. And when I first came out here, that was a choice that I made. When I first moved out here 8 years ago, I had short hair. But my agent told me in order for me to maximize, then I need to think about longer hair and to do that. So that's just for that particular field.
Yeah.
Now I see what you're saying as why is it that people, secretaries, nurses, then they should maybe rethink that. And
Well, you know what? Part of my book, also my research said that back in the 60s, 70s, yes, if you came rolling up in your natural hair, you either didn't get a job or you got fired.
Right.
So, and it's to a certain degree today, same thing today.
It is.
So I have nothing about that. That happens. But on the majority of the people, that's who I'm speaking to. Not the professionals like yourself. You have to do it because I know you do. You're actress. You're in the profession. You got to do that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the majority of the women out there who are just regular ladies out there who elect to look like another person, another race of people in their hair on a majority of their time. That's all. Just give our race a chance. That's all I'm asking.
Have you ever dated a woman with a weave?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yes. Oh, of course.
And what happened? Did she tell you don't touch her hair?
Matter of fact, that little statement about the passion, that's in the book. And that was me, and believe me, that's where, and I labeled that chapter the weaves, the black contraceptive. Because there was no conceiving that night.
So what happened with, so she said, so you guys are in the throes of passion, and she says, don't touch my hair. And so then what happened?
She didn't say don't touch, she screamed it.
She screamed it?
Because it was that detrimental.
That bomb.
Don't touch my hair.
And believe me, everything went kind of south from there, and I just said, okay, that's end that night, because it was that important to her. So.
No, but that actually should have been established in the beginning. Don't touch my hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, brother, let me turn it around to you. Turn it on to you. Have you ever had to, fill out a form and say, hey, do I touch your hair or not?
No, we don't go through that.
No, you don't. You don't ask those questions.
Yeah.
It just happens, and that's the way love making is supposed to be.
I love hair, period. So if it's sewed in or not, it's no biggie. I can handle it.
No, I can handle it too, but I'm just kind of writing some things in the book, and some of the brothers are agreeing to it, and hopefully some of the sisters will see that I'm not against your hair.
You know what? I'm looking at the live chat. We actually had last week there was a concern about the live chat, but this week people are saying some good things on there, and someone gave you a kudos and said, "Good point, guy in hat." A guy in hat's name is Mr. Ballinger, D.A. Ballinger. You got a good point. And actually, a young lady said she wore her natural hair last week, and she got a lot of compliments.
There you go. See?
I think it's really just about slowly getting to be feeling comfortable with who you are and being accepted.
Thank you.
And I can tell you. Actually, I used to have green contact lenses. I got them for Freaknik. That's a whole nother story. And that's another show, Freaknik 93, 94, 95, and 96. And it was a great time. So I had green contact lenses for Freaknik. I know, just learn all sorts of stuff about me. Miss Etiquette and Freaknik. I had green contact lenses, and I just felt like I had to have these green contact lenses. I wore them. And when I first started to take them out, I was challenged because, oh my goodness, people are going to know. People are going to know that and people already knew that my eyes weren't really green. Mm-hmm. They knew that they were brown. I was the only one living in a fantasy that people did not realize. And I had the same reaction as this lady on the chat, in that people said, "Oh, your eyes are beautiful. Your eyes are light brown. They're beautiful. They're beautiful." I'm like, but they're not really green, Oh, we knew that. So it's actually the same I felt that epiphany of, wow, it's okay to be natural. And this young lady is having that as well.
And I just like to chime in with this quick story. It was a Tyra Banks episode, and it's on YouTube. You can look it up. This lady actually was 5 years into her marriage. 5 years. And she was on the show. Now, it wasn't because she was cheating on her husband. It wasn't because she had some bad secret. She was only on the show to show her natural hair to her husband, who have never seen her hair in 5 years. Never. And he married her not seeing her hair. Now, what happened was she did the transformation. She came out on the show. He was there. He loved it. He loved her. But she was stressing. She almost had a heart attack behind that.
Oh, wow.
That big fear.
It can be a challenge when you're not
some
sure
women
how
got
people,
insecurities,
people being seen without their hair, because the hair is part of who they are. So on that note, we're going to take a quick break. We have one more guest we want to bring in. We're going to take a very quick, please don't go anywhere. Just enjoy the MGSC commercial. MGSC is my jewelry line, available at 1205 North La Brea. Hello, and welcome back to Manners and More with Millena. I'm your host, Millena Gay, and today we are having an unbelievable day, having an unbelievable discussion, talking about hair. And I'm joined in the studio by Mr. Anthony Simpkins, Mr. D.A. Ballinger, and we now have Mr. Rodney Allan Rippy. And you may remember him from the Jack in the Box commercial that ran several years ago. It ran for 14 years. Well, he is here in the studio with us, and he's going to share with us some good news about what he's got going on in addition to running for the Mayor of Compton. Welcome, Mr. Allan. Mr. Rippy.
Yep, it's good to be here. Good to be here.
Oh, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Well, we only have a few short minutes left, but why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you can weigh in on the discussion that we have.
Got started in the entertainment industry when I was 3.5, and had the pleasure of working with so many wonderful people over the years. And many people might remember the old Jack in the Box commercial from way, way on back. And that just kind of led me into a life of great relationships with people. I mean, I had the opportunity to work with some of the greatest people in entertainment, Sammy Davis Jr., George Burns, Mike Douglas, Dinah Shore, Merv Griffin. I mean, the real moguls of Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And over time, I've been fortunate to have a great database of people, and so the opportunity just came up, and now I'm currently running for the mayor of Compton, California.
Mayor of Compton. Well, now, when is the election?
The election is April 16th.
April 16th. Oh, that's coming up.
Coming
All
up.
right,
So
now.
we're in the fast-paced movement, and so I'm actually just reaching out to people worldwide and friends and fans and associates and saying, if you're not in Compton, just support me, make a donation, make a campaign contribution, or if you are. Oh, yeah, and also having a huge event on April 13th, 3 days before the election.
Oh.
I've put together the Compton's first Business Opportunity Information Summit. And what this is, it's an opportunity for people to come out, network, and see job opportunities. I also included something called HJ1, Hire Just One. My dream for Compton is for every business in Compton on the 13th to hire just one person. And so we've got a lot of media. I'm very fortunate to have some big Fortune 500 companies that have already started to step up. Sears, they're going to be there doing hiring in the city of Compton.
Oh, the City Hall?
Oh, they're going to be right near the City Hall, right there, 200 West Compton Boulevard.
Really?
And so I don't know what can happen. I mean, I might be overrun with people. There might be crickets, chirping. But you know what? I'm making my effort to go forward, and I believe it's going to be a good day. And so we have Sears that stepped up, wanting to do HR and come and hire people.
Wonderful. That
Also,
wonderful.
Carl's Jr. and as well, hopefully.
Jack in the Box?
Well, no, Jack in the Box didn't do anything. Carl's Jr. stepped up though,
Oh, wow.
and maybe Safeway and Vons may come out as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And aren't you going to be giving away food or something?
Oh yeah, and we're working on giving away food, 200 boxes of food for the first 200 that show up.
Oh,
so we're having a
wow.
food drive. It's recruitment. It's empowering. There's going to be job opportunities. I just got a call from social services from the County of Los Angeles, so hopefully they're going to send some support out. Oh, just got a call from Congresswoman Janice Hahn's office, so they're going to have a representative there. So the goal is, if anybody out there wants to support me, please do. If you're in Compton, vote. If you're not, just go to my website, Rodney Allan Rippy for mayor.com, and right there you can just click on the little button and make a donation, because everything counts.
It does. Every little bit counts.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. And
Yeah.
for all of the listeners who are watching in Compton, please be sure to go out April 16th and to vote for Mr. Rippy. And if you can, make it out on April
13th.
April 13th.
Yep, Saturday, April 13th. That's this Saturday.
This Saturday for a wonderful extravaganza. Now, what are the times one more time?
It's going to be from 12 noon to 5 p.m. I'm just want to have as long as I can the entire day. We're very fortunate to be able to have this location. It's right by the monument, right on 200 West Compton Boulevard. Just come. There's like a beautiful fountain there that's always been the focal point of the city. All around the fountain, I'm going to set up booths. If you have an independent business, if you would like to share an opportunity with the residents of Compton, I'd love for you to come out. We're trying to make it, Compton specific, of the business. I want to make it first for the businesses of Compton. And then, but more to merry. If we can get people to come in, that would be nice.
Now let me just really quickly. Now, I'm from Maryland originally, and unfortunately, people think that Compton is the hood.
Right.
It's scary in Compton. It's, oh my gosh. And I unfortunately had that vision when I first got here, that's the worst place on the earth. Compton and Watts are just horrifying. Please dispel that myth and that rumor.
It is very much a myth, and Compton is known around the world, but for all the wrong reasons. And so I have a degree in marketing. I have huge relationships in the world of media and advertising, and my first step is to rebrand Compton. I want people to start seeing Compton as a real world-class city. Of course, there's some things that need to change. There's some improvements, some aesthetics, but the only thing that's wrong with Compton is just an old city. It's an aging city. I believe that Compton, once it starts going through redevelopment, we need more restaurants. I mean, Compton has some things, and I'm looking out to the business community. If there are any big executives out there, Compton needs a bowling alley. So Brunswick, where are you? We don't have a movie theater in Compton.
Really?
Car dealership.
So I welcome all of these type of businesses, because we need to get people to work again, and we want them, instead of having to go outside the city for services, we can do it right there in the city of Compton.
Wow, well, that's wonderful. Well, everybody, please join Mr. Rippy at the voting booths, on the polls on the 16th, at the event on the 13th. And if you want more information, you can go to, is there a website?
Yep, the website is www.RodneyAllanRippy, that's RodneyAllenRippy, for mayor.com.
.com. All right. You can also hit me up, Millena with Manners with Millena at gmail.com. And that's about our show for today. I wanted to say thank you also to our guest, Mr. D.A. Ballinger. I know you had a couple of things here that you wanted to quickly talk about. We have like 2 minutes.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. I will take the minute to just say my thank you for letting me be on the show. Thank you for letting me show my, share my views, and I appreciate it. And I'd like to give my website for you to go out to buy my book. And the book is Unbeweavable. It's on Amazon.com. Okay, it's Unbeweavable. It's on Amazon.com, and just go to Unbeweavable, the book. Unbeweavable, the book, and it's only $2.99 ebook. $2.99
Really?
ebook, and you can get the whole book.
All right now. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I wanted to also say thank you, Mr. Anthony Simpkins, Magic Finger Simpkins.
Yeah, I'm giving a hair show on May 18th, and I can be reached at 323-291-6737 or 323-228 4824. That's my cell. And at World on Wheels is where the hair show will be on May 18th, starting at 9 p.m. to 1. And it's going to be a real nice turnout. It's going to be a skate hair show.
A skate hair show.
Something different.
All right now.
So
that means people are going to be roller skating on the hair?
They're going to be roller skating, and we're going to be judging on the hair, and we're going in on it.
All right now. All right now. I
on the
love it.
18th of May.
Fantastic.
Starting at 9:30 p.m.
Okay. Okay.
Well, you write it down more.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me today. And thank you, audience, for joining and tuning in and for live chatting and for being good on the live chat today. And thank you, as always, for tuning in every week. We had a wonderful time talking about the weave and the hair. It was an unbeweavable day, unbeweavable guests, and I have an unbeweavable audience. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I'll see you next week on Manners and More with Millena. Take care.